It is 2nd of May 2023. A very great morning to you watching Western Television, wherever you're catching the show live from. You're most welcome. 15 minutes past over 7 a.m. Today happened to be Tuesday. My name is Denis and this is Kokoliriko Show. It's a show that comes away every Monday through Friday. I am here with you till the hour of 8:30 a.m. in the morning. And that will be the time I will be getting out of the studio, leaving you in the hands of another presenter who will be taking you through a program that will follow after. And you have to know that yesterday was 1st of May and it was International Labour Day, and for Uganda the national celebration was at Namutumba district, where President Yoweri Kaguta Museveni was there to grace the occasion. And later on I will be able to dive into some of the issues that President Yoweri Kaguta Museveni was able to raise in regards to Labour Day celebration that was yesterday. And do not forget also, in regards to Labour Day celebration, the civil society organizations have come out to lash at the government of the Republic of Uganda for failure to introduce what we call the minimum wage that should be used to determine how much a worker is supposed to be paid here in our country, Uganda. More of that will be coming later on in the due course of the show. But before that, allow me to say, Oai Nenedi Kugwana Pinin Martin, Jomotia Kanana Wakuri E District Pakwashine Bizombo, Wafo I Mamu, Nijomotia Kanana Wakuri District Bulisa Hoi Mamasindi, Wafoyo I Mamu them. Not forgetting those who are catching us live within Ashile Sub-region, Ochonin, Kuteropin Martin, those in Lamoket, Gomagago, not forgetting those who are catching us live within Gulu City. Thank you very much for joining us this morning, and we do appreciate you. Not forgetting those in the diaspora. I am talking about those catching us live from the southern part of South Sudan, in the capital Juba, and not forgetting those in the Eastern Democratic Republic of Congo. Those in Duruba, you're always catching Western Television live the other side. And not forgetting those in Kenya and Tanzania, and those who are watching us live outside Africa. We always think about you as well. It is good to know what is happening back home, and we are coming to you live from the broadcast house of Western Television here at plot number 39A, Weatherhead Park Lane, next to Presidential State Lodge here in Arua City. And we're coming to you live both online and also live on your bigger screen where you are catching us live from. Those who are following us live from StarTimes, we thank you very much. Those who are following us live from YouTube and also using the StarTime app on your smartphone, we do appreciate you. Very soon we shall be able to give you the good news that we shall be unleashing, and that will be very soon. It could be within this week, and I will be letting you know in the due course of the week about the good news that will be coming through from Western Television, and we do appreciate you very much. And for those who want to always contact us, we always have our line or contacts scrolling on your screen, and make sure that you really write to us, and as well you can contact us and we shall be able to get back to you. Let us get to the local stories that we have in Western Sub-region and what you need to know outside West Nile here on Western Television Kokoliriko Show. My name still remains Denis Oringi, and I have to tell you that the facilities constructed under development response to displacement impacts project at Oshoko Primary School were handed over to the district leadership of Arua district by the contractor, and the contractor that constructed the classroom blocks at that is Oshoko Primary School, together with the installation of 20,000 rainwater harvesting tanks, and also including the installation of the furniture at the school was done with the funding from Dr. Deep, and Dr. Deep is the development response to displacement impacts project being rolled out in the refugee hosting districts that we do have. Let's have more from that particular story, where the community members have been urged to take good care of the facility that has been gifted to Oshoko Primary School in Arua district. Let us have more on that story.
Skylight General Services contracted by Arua District Local Government to construct 2 classroom blocks fully furnished, 2 blocks of 2 VIP latrines of both girls and boys, and installation of 20,000 liters of rain water harvesting tanks at Oshoko Primary School. Yesterday handed over the facilities constructed to the district leadership ready for commissioning. The facility were constructed with Development Response to Displacement Impacts Project Dr. Deep funds, a Government of Uganda Social Protection and Development-based program implemented under the Office of the Prime Minister.
We are showing this to the community to account This one is an accountability to what the government of Uganda has done to Arua district and also Kokoliriko in particular.
While handing over the facilities, Mawadri Emmanuel, the site engineer who represented the contractor, says it has been a mileage to have the project finished.
This project we've started it ever since it was 2022, August on 12th. That's when we handed over this site, and it has been a long way. It was really a very long stretch, and we've reached this far. So my bosses, the engineers, my greatest mentors, I should say, because really it has been a very big milestone for this work to reach out this far.
Abaho Henry, the Dr. D project engineer who has been supervising the project on behalf of the Office of the Prime Minister, says despite challenges they have been able to finish the project as expected, and he appeals to the school administration to properly manage the facilities.
Much as we have taken slightly a few months, but at least we got the best of what we wanted.
With the challenges of the security and power at Ochoko Primary School, the education stakeholders in the districts have welcomed the facilities and says that the facilities will improve the performance of the learners, and they will look forward to having the school fence to protect the facilities from vandalism.
I am very glad to note that whereas this project had the lowest cost in bidding, comparing it with the other projects in Arua district and also other projects in Arua city, similar projects which we are concurrently handling, this one of Ochoko had the lowest cost, but surprisingly the speed was the fastest and the quality was the best in this lot.
This must be exemplary of the TENSA projects. It was the first to be started because the contractor caught it within the budget line, and say this project is on the highway where any visitor that comes from Kampala, any visitor that comes from Arua, any visitor that comes from sub-county, when it passes through Ochoko, will not hesitate to look at the project, and that's what we have been doing.
For storing our water during rain season. However, I'm very glad today to receive these new blocks, and we have plans for particularly this block where we shall space some classes in this block. Then we shall cooperate with the teachers and the school administration, the school management committee. At least
program we have put in place is to try all possible ways that we fence this school using chain link. Two, we have to increase the number of security personnel here.
The pupils of Ochoko Primary School could not hide their joy upon seeing the facilities handed over to the district for use.
I am glad and happy to see such a classroom. I feel like I'm in small heaven. Seeing this classroom and in the side of my performance, I promise to work hard and read hard, to be one of the first graders.
I would rather to join this school long time ago, but this is my first time, and the first year to join this school, I asked myself, why wouldn't I come here early? So I will be in opportunity, but exactly right now, by the moment I'm now in the right time and the right position in the school here, I've come as a comfortable boy. I would like to get a first grade in this year to increase in the performance of this school and to increase the level of this school as it has begun by constructing these beautiful ruins.
The local council 5 chairperson Arua district, Alfred Okwonzi, received the facility and urges the local community to own the project since it was a struggle to get the project.
If you send to me weak people, you will not see good things coming. If you send to me good people, you will see things coming.
Ochoko Primary School is not only the school in Arua district benefiting from Dr. D project. Anju Primary School is in Vura sub-county, Arua district also benefiting from the project, much as the construction work is still going on at the school. Denis Oringi, West Nile Television, Nilecast.
All right, thank you very much. That is Ochoko Primary School with the new facilities that have been constructed under what we call the Development Response to Displacement Impact Project right there. Dr. Deep being rolled out in the refugee hosting district. One would be asking him herself why Arua district is benefiting from this project, yet Arua district is not hosting refugees. And you have to know that before Madiokolo went and Terego went, all the two new districts were all under Arua, and so it is important that they extend some support to Arua district for being, kind-hearted in allowing the refugees to be settled in the newly created districts. Now we are talking about Madiokolo and Terego, and these were districts under Arua district before. That is 2020 right there, and before 2021. And so there are a number of 10 sub-projects that are being implemented under Dr. Deep in the Arua district. A school like Anzo Primary School that is in Vora sub-county is also being constructed with the funding from Dr. Deep. And Dr. Deep is in the project that is being implemented in the IGAD countries, and so it is funding from World Bank and to support some of these countries that are really hosting refugees, and they belong to the IGAD, that is Intergovernmental Agency for Development right there. And so countries that subscribe to IGAD, there are countries that are benefiting from this Dr. Deep. And so we do appreciate very much the government of the Republic of Uganda for really getting to be recognized by IGAD and also World Bank, and also for hosting refugees. And we have to know that currently there are millions of refugees that are living in our country, Uganda, with fighting in Eastern Democratic Republic of Congo, South Sudan, and also now we are talking about Sudan war. And you have to know that there are people who are running to Uganda as their safe havens, and so we continue to pray for them as well, and we pray for the countries that are really going through turmoil, and so the time will come that peace will really prevail in those countries, and that is our prayers. As Ugandans, we have seen how refugees are being treated, and you have really seen how refugees are really living their life. And so what we need not to pray for is war, where we shall be able to run away from our own country. So in case there are issues that need to be resolved, I urge the leaders of this country to always have a roundtable discussion and solve issues amicably. We do not want to get into those days where people left the country, Uganda, and they ran outside. And for those who are in West Nile, you know what war means. And those in northern Uganda, you know what war means. And so we should not pray for war to come. And I do not know whether there is somebody who always pray for war to come. Yeah, for some people, because they know that they are going to benefit. When there are wars, there are always sides that benefit. And so those who think of benefiting from war, I am calling upon you this morning to desist from such prayers, because it's not good. One professor, Adubango Omango, did write that in war you'll see how people move in the helter-skelter, and so in a state of confusion, up and down, people running there and in different directions. Even a mother forgets about her child, a father forgets about her wife and even the children, because he also wants to save his life. And so once they have released a bomb in an area like Arua here, I don't think that I will be standing here, continue to broadcast. I will also have to disappear. And don't ask me where I've left my family. They will also get their way wherever they might be able to run to. And so that is what war brings. It brings a state of confusion. Even you as a good father, you become a bad father by running away from your family. As a mother, you leave your young baby and you have to run for your dear life, because life is very important, and so you start by saving your life before you save some person's life right there. Away from that, let's get to Acholi sub-region, where the Deputy Inspector General of Police Major General Geoffrey Tumusimwe was in the sub-region to do performance review of the police, more especially on security situation of the region in regards to the Karamojong cattle rustling, which is greatly affecting the districts of Padey, Agago, and Kitgum, the districts that border Karamoja sub-region right there. And let's get more on this story from Stephen Okello, who is always in Gulu, and he reports for us.
The punctual Major General Tumusimwe started this day in Acholi sub-region by inspecting different police facilities in Gulu City. He says his presence in the region is part of the countrywide tour in assessing the general police performance across the country.
We are reviewing our performance as police in this region, the Acholi sub-region. Two, we're also looking at the number of security threats, the security situation, looking at the security situation in this region, looking at the local crime as well as assessing the impact of the Karamoja raids, the Karamojong raids, the areas of Kitgum and Agago.
The Deputy IGP, Major General Tumusimwe, also says his visit to the region is to look for an everlasting way of fighting both local and national crimes.
To see how we can come out with a solution to some of these things. In addition, of course, at looking at the welfare of our police officers in the region.
The Achua Regional Police Commander, SSP Nashoha Damale, says lack of manpower in the police with limited police posts in the affected area of Karamojong cattle rustlers are some of the problems she is expecting her boss to tackle in his visit to the region.
Written to headquarters requesting for the filling up of the gaps of some of the areas that I feel are the routes that the Karamojongs use and which are most affected. And I should say for the past 1 week, we've not had any other incident connected to cattle raids like the suspected Karamojong warriors. So we are trying to handle the situation, though with some few challenges, which I believe with the visitation of the DIGP, we are going to find a solution together and overcome.
Meanwhile, the local community says combating cattle rustlers have defeated police, and they are requesting UPDF to come in full force to solve these problems once and for all.
My thinking is it's the coming of the Deputy IGP is just to blindfold people, because we had a whole 4-star general in the names of Mohozi Kainerugaba going to Agago district on the same mission. He was also in Kitgum. So what a 4-star general cannot solve, I don't expect the police force to solve.
The Deputy IGP visit is coming at a time local in the district of Padey, Agago, Kitgum, and Lamon district. When darkness comes, they run away from home to sleep in the bush in fear of Karamojong rustlers. Stephen Okello for West Nile Television, Nilecast.
All right, thank you very much, Stephen Okello, for that report about the Assistant Inspector General Police, touring, Acholi sub-region. And I believe that he will be able also to come to Western sub-region and also tour the facilities of the police, including the cells where these suspects are being kept and where the police officers are being housed. And you have to know that when it comes to security forces in our country, Uganda, when you are talking about housing facilities, I have to tell you, and this is not just a hearsay, I think security forces in our country, Uganda, are really not properly housed. I lived in barracks for over 10 years, and I know what I'm talking about here. And I do not know whether that is a style and a system that it has to be like that the junior officers should just live in Mama Ingia Pole, and also they should be housed in what we call the uniport, which is very hot during daytime and you don't have time to rest. And I see the grass thatch houses that are in the barracks, moreover divisions, the 4th division, go to 3rd division, that is in Moruto, go to Asholpi, that is in Pade, you go also to Nakasongola, you go to Masindi, go to even, a Bombo Hambi barracks, and you see how these officers are being housed. And it is now worse with the police officers. They have to also live like bads. Even sometimes bads are living better life, by the way, in terms of housing. I am not criticizing their actions, their jobs that they are employed to do, but I am talking about the manner in which they are being housed. I do not know whether government does not think about them or it is just a style, but the officers are supposed to be housed like that. And what is the problem? Constructing for them a very nice facilities, good housing facilities like any other government workers who have the privilege to enjoy what the government always gives to them, apart from the salary that they earn. What else apart from the free uniforms that they always wear and the free makaunga and maragwe that are given every month, something like 9 cups of beans and then around 15 cups of posho, and this is to take the officer throughout the month. And the officer is expected to supplement using the salary that he or she gets. And I have to tell you that when it comes to ratio that is being given to the officers, they do not consider the family members. So if you're living with your wife and your children in the barracks, do not think that they're going to count the number of family members you have. Then they will increase the number of cups for maragwe and also for kawunga. That will not be there. So in UPDF, they only consider one person who has the army number. If your army number is RA or RO, then you will be considered by Uganda People's Defense Forces in terms of the benefits of doubt that the officers are always enjoying. The same apply to police force. The officers do enjoy some benefit of doubt right there, and it is only for that officer who has the number, not for the family members. And so it's you to think around to think outside the box on how you will be able to make your family survive. And so if you're living with your family in the barracks, make sure that you improvise for them where they're supposed to be accommodated, because the forces only accommodate that person or those people who have the numbers. And so I believe that the Deputy Inspector General Police, his tour in a Chole sub-region will be able to bring some discussion around housing for the police officers, and also increasing more manpower, and also improving the state of the cells that are being used for housing the suspects that are being arrested. And all of us, we deserve to live a better life. It doesn't mean that since you're a suspect, you should be treated in that manner. You should be subjected to sleep together with feces and urine that you urinate inside the same room that you sleep. And that is quite unfortunate. And that's the dark side of the suspect cells that we do have at different police stations that we have in this country, Uganda. I do not know whether it is a deliberate move by Uganda Police Force to always have the cells for keeping suspects in that state of dilapidation. I do not know whether it is their their style, that let us be like that and let the cells be like that. Go to Gulu, you'll find the same thing. Come to Arua, you also find the same cell. The cell looks the same. Go to Nebi, the cells look the same. I know somebody will be asking me whether I've also tested being in those cells. I am not a criminal, and I do not think I will also one time be able to test those cells. But I have to say, I am nobody. I can also test the cells like the ministers who also tested the cells. And so they said that you should not laugh at them, not knowing that one time you will also become a suspect. In our country, every person is a suspect. You can be arrested at any time. It will be until proven guilty or innocent by the court of law in this country. And so before Denis Oringi goes to those cells as a suspect, I have to tell you this morning, improve the conditions of those cells. If you want a person like Oringi Denis to come over there, let it not just be a saying that that is the Ugandan system and that is their style. No, things can be changed. There's money in this country, and what is police doing in regards to requesting money to support such? the JLOS, that is the Justice Law Order System of our country, Uganda, order sector. Please support the police in improving the condition of the cells. At the other time, we had funding from that is that is from the organization that was later on, I think, stopped from funding different government agencies and also civil society organizations that we do have in our country, Uganda. They used to do a lot in supporting such, in improving the conditions of lives of the people in the cells, and also supporting the police in their actions that they are always undertaking. Let's move away from that. Coming back to West Nile, you have more the National Water and Sewerage Corporation handed over 4 stands VIP latrine to Katekle Primary School, that is in Logri Sub-County, Arua District. The newly constructed latrine was pledged to Arua District by the National Water and Sewerage Corporation Executive Director when he was in the sub-region last year. He made this promise to Arua District local government. Good enough, the promise has been delivered in kind. I'm telling you, the VIP latrine, 4 stands, is right there standing at Katekele Primary School in Logre. Let's have more on this story.
National Water and Sewerage Corporation, Arua branch, handed over newly constructed 4 stands of VIP latrine to Katekele Primary School in Logre Sub-County, Arua District. The facility was constructed using first account of the National Water and Sewerage Corporation after the managing director last year, during his visit, promised the people of Arua District VIP latrine to the tune of 13 million.
I personally supervised the construction of this VIP latrine, and I am very certain it is of good quality and is ready for use. Last year, our MD, National Water and Sewerage Corporation, visited during his visit in the northern region, he visited our area, Arua, and we were blessed during the invitation that the chairman of the district was in attendance. And during the deliberation, the MD National Water, as part of corporate social responsibility, promised for a 4 stands VIP latrine. It was the initiative of the chairman of the Arua district that he guided that we bring this VIP latrine to Katekele Primary School. I want to thank him for that.
Shandia Dominic, the head teacher at Katekele Primary School and the school management committee chairperson, hails the National Water and Sewerage Corporation for thinking about the school in as far as sanitary facility for girls is concerned.
Coming to conclusion, take my time because they are going to make the speeches. I would need to thank you very much for aid, and there will be more of this kind of things.
Without the intervention of National Water and Sewage Corporation for the purposes of the girl child, you can see what the situation must have been. With the population of over 1,400 pupils and over 800 or 700 girls, you only have about 4 stances or 3 stances. So we can just imagine what normally happens when these children come out at break time. Even though we are speaking now, we will still see that what we have is insufficient indeed, because the girl child is at a risk, and you will find sometimes, because the queue is very long, if all of us look at that direction, you look at those old toilets, sometimes children just run into those toilets.
The local council 5 chairperson Arua District, Alfred Okwonze, calls on the community of Pajulu village to be grateful to the National Water and Sewerage Corporation for extending their support to the rural school. He says by law, National Water and Sewerage Corporation is only to operate within the urban areas, not rural areas, and extending corporate social responsibility to Katekele Primary School cannot be taken for granted.
National Water and Sewerage Corporation is an organization mandated to supply water and related services in urban centers. The partner that is mandated to deal with the rural water supply is a different one, not National Water and Sewerage Corporation. We all have to be very, very grateful for the flexibility and the love of National Water and Sewerage Corporation for accepting to come down beyond their limits.
Kokoliriko Primary School currently has a total of over 1,500 pupils. Before the construction of the latrine, the school had only 4 stands VIP latrine for girls, which were being shared by the female teachers as well. Denis Oringi, Western Television, Nilecast.
All right, thank you very much, dear viewer, for being with us up to this particular time. You're still watching Western Television, 45 minutes past hour over 7 a.m. Apparently 15 minutes to the top of the hour over 8 a.m. right on Western Television. Up to 8:30 a.m. That will be the time that we'll be saying bye-bye for the Tuesday edition of the program, the Kokoliriko Show on Western Television. Let's get to more stories this morning that we have prepared for you. You have to know that following the hit-and-run fatal accident that led to the death of a police officer, number 41374 Sergeant Adiga Constantine, which occurred in the evening of the Easter Sunday on 9th April 2023. The police has arrested the driver by the names of Gift Ibrahim, 20 years, male, Kakwabai tribe, resident of that is Kokoliriko district, for the death of the police officer. The Western Police spokesperson, Josephine Anguchia, has more on this.
Following the hit-and-run fatal accident that occurred to our police officer, one Sergeant Adiga Constantine, which occurred on the evening of Easter Sunday on 9th April 2023. Investigations have been ongoing that led to the arrest of the driver that knocked him on the fateful day, and this driver was found to be one Gift Ibrahim, a Kakwabai tribe, 20 years old, resident of Kokoliriko district. By then he was driving a motor vehicle with the registration number UAZ 734Q Primo type, and he was driving from Kokoliriko direction heading to Arua town direction, and knocked our officer, one Adiga Constantine, in Nyadri Town Council as Constantine was crossing from Marata Town Council offices to Marata Central Police Station. So immediately after knocking him, the driver, one Gift Ibrahim, drove to unknown direction, but effort has been made to trace for the vehicle, which vehicle was accordingly arrested, which vehicle was accordingly impounded. The vehicle was accordingly impounded and brought back to Marata Central Police Station, and the vehicle happens to be a Primo with registration number UAZ734Q. The owner of the said motor vehicle cooperated with the police so as to trace for the whereabouts of Gift Ibrahim. So Gift Ibrahim abandoned the vehicle to the owner, and he decided to relocate to Kampala to begin driving another vehicle along Kampala-Mityana Road. However, he was arrested in Mityana district. Then from there he was brought back to Marata Central Police Station to face justice. So as I speak, the driver is in the hands of police, and he is facing justice for the fatal accident that he contributed to, that led to the death of our officer. And preliminary inquiries indicated the cause of this accident to be reckless driving of the motor vehicle with the registration number UAZ734Q by the driver, one Gift Ibrahim. So maybe my appeal to our drivers is that matters, accidents may not be intended. After getting accident, for their own safety, it's always better for them to move or drive to the nearby police station in order to face justice other than escaping. Otherwise, Uganda is small. We have CCTV cameras everywhere, and if one chooses to knock and wants to escape minors doing the justice, then he will be pressed and arrested accordingly. So to save time, it's better to report to the area police for proper investigations and then for the justice to take place.
All right, that is the latest from the police spokesperson for Western Sub-Region in regards to the hit-and-run accident that claimed the life of a police officer who was working at Maracha District Local Government right there. None other than Sergeant Adiga Constantine. May his soul rest in eternal peace. It's good that the police has hunted for the driver who caused the accident, and he has been arrested, as it has been confirmed by the police spokesperson for Western Sub-Region, Madam Josephine Angushia right there. Let's get to Koboko and know what is happening in Koboko. You have to know that last week, the district speaker of Koboko District Local Government, Honorable Akim Charles, was whisked to Kampala for a specialized treatment after suddenly collapsing on duty. And so Charles, who was confirmed by the chairman LC5 for Koboko District to be looking fit and healthy, shocked many after receiving the news of his collapse. Now with about a week, information reaching Western Television is that the speaker is still fighting for his dear life in the intensive care unit in one of the hospitals in Kampala. Let's have more on that.
Of the Kokoliriko District Local Government, after the sudden collapse of our Right Honorable Speaker, Honorable Akim Charles, we had even a security meeting together up to the time of 6:30 p.m. we were able to communicate. But at around 6:45, I got a call from one of the honorable councillors of the local municipal council, Honorable Madam Joseph, who informed me that our Honorable Speaker has collapsed. And this got him when he was on duty. He went to West Division. On his way, he ran to a nearby guest house to leave his phone for charging. When he came out from the motorcycle, parked the motorcycle beside the guest house and went inside to charge his phone. Now when he felt he was uneasy, wanted to go for ease himself, that was the time when he started, the legs and the hands started jogging. So immediately the people who were surrounding him immediately rushed up and helped get him up. Then from there he was taken inside and given a bed rest. Then I was given a call. Then we were able to make the ambulance to immediately rush and pick him. When we brought him, the condition was so unbearable. The pressure was abnormal, I think 450 over 196. That was extremely beyond. But I want to thank the management of the Kokoliriko District Hospital for immediately responding to give attention to Honorable Akim. All the doctors came in and they were able to manage the situation at night, and preliminarily what they were able to, the investigations were reflecting that he's likely to be having a stroke because of the high pressure. It led to the stroke. So as of now, that's the condition that we're able to detect. But until the whole night, we were able to stabilize the situation of the pressure. As now he's leaving to Kampala, we managed him at a pressure of 157 against 99. That we think is far better than what we had before. So the reason why we're doing this referral is for further investigations. One, to have a CT scan. You're aware that the CT scan of Arua is down, and we also reliably informed the CT scan of Mulago is down. We're able to share with our Honorable Member of Parliament, Dr. Charles Ayume, who guided us, said that he should come to Kampala. He should be referred to Mulago for management, but the CT scan can be done at the Nakasero in another part. So as we speak now, they are going to Nakasero for the CT scan, and then from there they will head to Mulago for admission. I want to restore the hopes of the public that Akim is going to get out of danger. From what we saw yesterday and today, he's going to be out of danger. All what we need to give a humble prayers to him so that he is able to recover back and able to serve his people diligently.
He's still on the ICU, in intensive care yet in Mulago. Yes, the condition is still. What is really good from there is one, he has the pressure is there. It has led to some blood clots I think some veins, they call them arteries, some arteries or veins have ruptured, which has led to bleeding, blood bleeding in the brain. And that is the central place where they cannot even do operations, but they can just use that, they use some drugs so that they clean the blood flow. And also he had they also got sugar diabetes. And those are cases that he has never had them before.
All right, we'll be back. We pray for the district speaker of Kokoliriko as he fights for his life right there in one of the hospitals in Kampala. And according to information that we have obtained, as you have heard from the L35 chairperson, Kokoliriko district, he is in the intensive care unit, the ICU right there. And we pray for him, and may the good Lord be able to touch him. And also we pray for the doctors and also the nurses who are handling him right there. Away from that, let's get to the national story before we go for a break. You have to know that civil society organizations have insisted that having a minimum wage will help solve some of the problems faced by the country's workers. And so Penina Mbabazi, the program officer in charge of death and aid at Siatini, Uganda, said the absence of a minimum wage exposes workers to exploitation right there. And according to the CSOs, many investors who come to the country are fond of labor casualization, where few top managers are paid handsomely, but the rest of the Ugandan employees work without contracts and under poor conditions. The CSO said it is appalling that whereas each district is mandated to have a labor officer, many districts do not have any in place. And so that is the condition in which the workers in our country, Uganda, they are working in. And so districts not having labor officers, we have companies that employ people and don't give contracts, and they tend to only pay those in top positions good amount of money, while the rest are being paid meagerly. And so having minimum wage in place will really solve some of these problems. I can remember last week I did tell you that it is very hard to discuss minimum wage in your country, Uganda, because when you look at the organizations, the entities that provide employment, majority are being owned by those who are supposed to help have a discussion around minimum wage. So bringing this minimum wage bill to Parliament of the Republic of Uganda, it will be like shooting their own feet right there. My name is Denis. Thank you for my 3 minutes to 8 a.m. on Western Television. We do appreciate you. It's Kokoliriko Live, and we are coming to you live from the broadcast house of Western Television here on plot 39A, Weather 8 Park Lane in Arua City, Western Sub-Region. Let's go for a break, and when we come back, we shall be diving into some of the national issues that you need to know right this morning from the dailies that we do have in our country, Uganda. Good morning.
West Nile TV, lighting up the region.
Get more for less on Star Times this Easter season. Cartoon channel for best children entertainment. New global series. Local drama on Makula TV and football all around the world. Simply make weekly or monthly subscription and enjoy upgrade to the next bouquet. For classic or super bouquet customers, subscribe for a month and enjoy 5 days extra. Family time with Star Times. Star Times is regulated by UCC.
West Nile TV, lighting up the region. West Nile TV, lighting up. West Nile TV, lighting up the region.
All right, 2 minutes past over 8. I'm right on West Nile Television. I'm glad you're still watching Kokoliriko Show. My name is Denis Oringi. Let us get to what is in the dailies today. Let's get to Daily Monitor. We give you some of the updates on the stories that have appeared on the papers today. Arrest all genocide masterminds. Rwanda High Commissioner to, that is United Nations, is one of the stories that you cannot miss in today's Daily Monitor. And over 100 legislators from Africa to meet in Uganda over road carnages. And so issue of road accidents is a very serious issue here, country, Uganda. So 100 legislators from Africa to meet in Uganda over road carnages is what you need to know. While addressing journalists at Parliament yesterday, the chairperson of the Parliamentary Forum for Road Safety, Alex Ruhinda, said road accidents remain one of the top killers of people in Uganda, and that as legislators they have a role to contain the situation, and that is according to the chairperson of the Parliamentary Forum, that is for road safety, Alex Ruhinda, saying right there. And so the meeting will be at Speak Resort Munyonyo to deliberate on measures that can be undertaken to contain road carnages in the continent. One person could say, does it need members of parliament from all over Africa to come and meet over road carnages? Don't we have laws in place? Don't we have rules and regulations that one is supposed to follow when the person is driving on this road? And so why should over 100 members of parliament be able to meet to discuss road carnages? For me, I think it is something like wastage of money to have this kind of meeting where over 100 members of parliament meeting to discuss road carnages. Yet we have the laws in place. Is it the implementation of the laws that we do have, or the problem is beyond the implementation that needs over 100 members of parliament to meet and discuss this particular matter? And so the conference will be graced by the Deputy Speaker of Parliament of the Republic of Uganda, Thomas Tayebwa right there. So, well, the issue of road safety now, since 2011, you have to know that we have been mobilizing Ugandans through our legislative duty to ensure that we save lives on the roads. And so the time around, we have brought over our counterparts from all over Africa on board so that we can come up with a concrete resolution to the problem and save lives. I am waiting to hear the resolutions that will be reached at, or the solutions to the problem that we do have as a country. I am talking about road carnages, whether the solutions that will be got by these members of parliament who will come from all over Africa to come and discuss road carnages in Uganda, whether the solutions that they will come out with would be different from the solutions to the road carnages that we have already in place that are supposed to be followed. I am just waiting for that moment right there. And so let's get to more updates this morning right here on Western Television. President Yoweri Kaguta Museveni says that corrupt leaders increase cost of business, and that is what the President of the Republic of Uganda is saying here. He says that corrupt leaders increase cost of business here in our country, Uganda. Speaking during what we call this year's,
West Nile TV, lighting up the region.
Get more for less on Star Times this Easter season. Cartoon channel for best children entertainment. New global series. Local drama on Makula TV and football all around the world. Simply make weekly or monthly subscription and enjoy upgrade to the next bouquet. For classic or super bouquet customers, subscribe for a month and enjoy 5 days extra. Family time with Star Times. Star Times is regulated by UCC.
West Nile TV, lighting up the region. West Nile TV, lighting up the region.
While we're back, you're still watching Western Television. We do apologize for that technical glitch right there. And dear viewer, I am still on this particular story of President Yoweri Kaguta Museveni saying that corrupt leaders increase cost of business in our country, Uganda. And so speaking during this year's International Labour Day celebrations at Namutumba district, ceremonial ground, the president said corruption and delays in decision-making were increasing the cost of business in his government. And so he has said he will crack down corrupt politicians and civil servants who are found soliciting bribes from investors and the business community. Speaking this year's International Labour Day celebrations at Namatumba, President Yoweri Kaguta Museveni says that he is going to crack the whip on those corrupt leaders right there. And so the theme for Labour Day 2023 was on promoting positive work culture and ethics, a perspective for increased investment, employment opportunities and household income right there. And quoting him verbatim saying, "We have got two enemies which I am going to fight. These two are corrupt politicians and civil servants who delay decision making. These are the ones who are disturbing investors by asking for bribes. These are the ones interfering with your future." And President Yoweri Kaguta Museveni is saying this. And these are people who are interfering with your future. He is securing your future. In the process that he wants our future to be secured, there are people who are interfering with our future. And so that is what President Yoweri Kaguta Museveni is saying. He says that people in URA, Uganda Revenue Authority, who go and intercept goods from traders and say that I will charge you much if you don't bribe me, but I will charge you less if I am given a bribe. I have reports. I am using this Labour Day to say that we are going to put up a good fight against the corrupt leaders, the corrupt politicians and the technical people right there. Museveni said that he would establish a unit within his office where investors can call directly when they are delayed in any way or ask for a bribe. The State House Anti-Corruption Unit is there. And so what is the State House Anti-Corruption Unit is doing? So creating another unit that will also require the taxpayers to pay money to see that the unit is serviced. And so I think this will also be monotonous. It will be too much for the citizens of this country. Why can't we strengthen the State House Anti-Corruption Unit and the investors call directly there? Maybe even those who are working with the State House Anti-Corruption Unit, they are not being trusted by the president. And that's my thinking. Yeah, it is not television's opinion. It is my opinion in regards to that we have the State House Anti-Corruption Unit. Why can't we strengthen the State House Anti-Corruption Unit to see that the investors call them directly and report those who are found of sabotaging and also delaying their investment in our country, Uganda. And so the president also cited the high cost of electricity as one of the factors responsible for the high cost of doing businesses, and that he would consider reducing the cost of power used in industries, not at your home. And so the one that is being used at industries, not at your home. So on the issues of environmental conservation, President Yoweri Kaguta Museveni asked people in eastern Uganda who had encroached on wetlands to peacefully vacate. If not, it will be bad for them. And so quoting him verbatim saying, "Those in the wetlands, get ready. I am coming back and I will help you shift from growing rice in wetlands to fish farming so that we can restore water for irrigation." And that's what President Yoweri Kaguta Museveni did say yesterday in regards to the International Labour Day. And for those who missed out on the International Labour Day yesterday, President Yoweri Kaguta Museveni has communicated issues to do with fighting corruption and getting rid of those who are found of destroying the wetlands that we do have. It's quite unfortunate that those who went to school are the one trying to destroy the wetlands. Those who understand the importance of wetlands, leaving those who who went to the school to have a better understanding on the importance of wetland, and you fail to understand what kind of education that people receive in this country, Uganda. They are receiving education that they use their knowledge to destroy the environment instead of conserving the environment. And President Yoweri Kaguta Museveni is the one telling them, look here, I am coming for you if you continue to occupy the wetlands. If you continue to grow rice in these wetlands, you better use the wetland for fish farming. And this will really save water for irrigation, and that is something that you need to know. All right. Another latest information that has come through is that Museveni to set up new anti-corruption unit out of that, and so that's something that you need to know. That President Museveni has promised to set up yet another anti-corruption unit inside State House, with the proposed body this time being dedicated to combating bribery in public offices. And so Museveni announced his latest anti-graft plans in Labour Day when he did mention yesterday. And so we really hope that this will be affected and will be able to solve the Uganda's biggest problems, that is the corruption there for you right there. And so let's get to more stories for you this morning. Is that there is no need to celebrate Labor Day, that is according to Onatu Boss, and he says that why should we celebrate Labor Day? Ugandans are not laborers, and so there's no need for us to celebrate Labor Day. And so Baguma told journalists that the day would be worth celebrating if employers were willing to listen and address the concerns of employees, including this issue of salary increment. And so he says that as a country, there's no need for us to celebrate Labor Day. That was celebrated yesterday. And so according to Unato Boss, that is a Uganda National Teachers Association, Teachers Union boss, that is Philbert Baguma, says that there's no need for us to celebrate that is the Labor Day. And so Philbert says that first of all, we don't have what to celebrate because workers continue to be marginalized as their employers pretend to be paying them. If you pay me whatever you want and you continue to use word like you can take it or leave it and go, be patient, up to when? And so that is according to Philbert Baguma, trying to stress the issues of workers as they go through the hands of their employers. So Labor Day is observed on May 1st every year across the world to pay tribute to the contribution of workers. So Uganda is making the day under the theme promoting positive work culture and ethics, a perspective for increased investment, employment opportunities and household income right there. And so Baguma said it is important for all workers to be treated humanly and listened to create a conducive working environment for everyone. And so quoting him further saying that you must listen to one another and be in a position to negotiate for better pay. So if you don't have enough resources, use them in the best way to cater to all employees fairly, as this will increase productivity and minimize conflicts among workers. And so several professionals in Uganda, including teachers and health workers, have on several occasions laid down their tools of a pay rise. So in May last year, art teachers went on strike protesting what they described as discriminatory salary enhancement after scientists were prioritized. And so, however, the government insisted that since its resource envelope was small, salary enhancement for all public servants would be done in a phased manner. And that is in regards to Labor Day right there. And so this is what you need to know here in our country, Uganda. We know some companies that are not really giving a contract to the employees, and they expect the employees to perform 100%. And this person is not having any security. If he wants to do something, it is hard for this person. And so you just work, and your fate is just in the hands of the employer. At any time, the employer can decide to sack you and fire you, and you have nothing to do because you don't have any proof that you have been working for this employer. And so that is the biggest problem. As I did mention earlier on, as it has been alluded, that many districts in our country, Uganda, do not have labor officers to help address the issues that the employees and the employers do face right there. And so this is something that government of the Republic of Uganda, through that is the Ministry of Labor, Gender and Social Development, should really be able to address. And I do not know why Ministry of Gender, Labor and Social Development is not interested in understanding how the employers are treating the employees and the conditions of work that the employers have really put the employees into, and issues to do with the salary payment, the issues to do with the contract, the issues to do with the working environment, the issues to do with the understanding of the Employment Act of our country, Uganda. And this morning I would love to ask, how many people understand the Employment Act of our country, Uganda? Whether people are interested in understanding, and whose responsibility should be this to, try to break down what we have in the Employment Act of our country, Uganda, whether what we have in the Employment Act of our country, Uganda, is being properly followed by both the employees and the employers as well. And so these are a very big discussion that we have to get into as we always, say that we celebrate the Labor Day. And so without us understanding what we have in the Employment Act, it is really unnecessary for us to celebrate the Labor Day, because much of the things that are supposed to be done, they are in the Employment Act. That gives power and authorities to both the employers and employees. So the employer knows what he or she is supposed to do, and the employees knows what he or she is supposed to do. And so once we get to understand the Employment Act of our country, Uganda, then the working environment we are talking about will be so safe for the employees and for the employer as well, and the condition of work will be favorably for both employer and the employee right there. And so that is some of the issues that we should be getting to understand. And if you are employing somebody, what do you need from an employee? And you as an employee, what do you need from the employer before you start the work? In most cases, we rush to start the work because of the unemployment issues that we have in our country, Uganda. So one has no time to ask those questions, because there are very many people who have lined up to get the same job that you have been given. And so those who have gotten the job, they feel it is not necessary to ask some of the employment related questions that are supposed to be asked and answered by the employer right there. And so that is something that you need to know in regards to Labor Day. Okay, you have to know that yesterday Ugandans rushed to Mulago for free medical services. And why Ugandans rushing to Mulago for free medical services? Right there, hundreds of Ugandans have yesterday morning brave a rainy atmosphere to access free medical services at Mulago National Referral Hospital's Wellness Clinic. And so David Namumanya, the principal administrator of Mulago Hospital, says that the medical camp will provide a wide range of free health services to both children and adults. So the 2-day exercise that started yesterday will end today. And so this is something that you need to know in regards to the free medical services that are being offered at the National Referral Hospital Mulago right there. And so people have really taken it up, because they rarely go for free medical services at that is Mulago right there. So lecturers to go on strike over salary is something that you need to know. That is coming through here, that lecturers in public universities across the country have threatened to go on a sit-down strike if the government fails to implement the presidential directive of enhancing salaries of academic staff in the institution. So according to an April 25th letter from the University Professionals and Academic Staff Union, that is UPASU, addressed to the Minister of Public Service, the staff have given the government 3 months from May 1st to August 1st to enhance the salaries of lecturers to 100%. And so quoting from the letter that has been written, it says that the academic staff have been patient since 2015 when the first presidential directive was issued, and 2019 when the second presidential directive was issued. And so the staff have endured the negative effects of the unfair salary announcement that neglect majority of the academic staff. We are left with no option but to go on strike. And that's according to Professor Kitui Mayoka, the union's national chairperson, in regards to the lecturers going on strike over salary right there. And so these are some of the issues that we have in our country, Uganda. And so each and every time there are new issues that is really coming up in our country, Uganda. And so that is something that you need to know, issues to do with strike by our lecturers who lecture at public universities that we have in our country, Uganda. Government to gazette all massage parlors is something that you need to know, that government is set to gazette all massage parlors, bars, lodges, hotels, has hotspots for HIV transmission. An official from the Uganda AIDS Commission has said right there. And so Shaban Mugerwa, the equity plan coordinator that is at Uganda AIDS Commission, said that transactional sex was increasingly becoming common in that in such places, and that gazetting them would help government provide appropriate HIV prevention interventions right there. And so quoting him saying that we are going to have conversations with the managers and policymakers on make us to allow us gazette massage parlors and other social venues as hotspots for HIV. And so it is something we have always known but had not taken effort to do it, as experts have said. And so Mugerwa said that once such places are gazetted, government would offer HIV prevention services such as promoting condom use, testing and counseling to that employees and the clients can sustain positive behaviors and minimize the risk of HIV transmission right there. And so that is something that you need to know. 25 minutes past over 8 a.m. right in Western Television. Allow me to say that with the story of government to gazette all massage parlors, we have come to the end of Kokoliriko show this morning, and I believe that the owners of these massage parlors will be able to allow the government to gazette their places, because I do not want to continue. Let me stop here. Thank you very much for being with us. Catch me again tomorrow for the Wednesday edition of the program, The Kokoliriko Show on Western Television. Allow me to appreciate each and every person who has been watching the show right from the time we started up to this particular time that I'm signing out of the studio. And allow me to appreciate my producer, Aldo Manano, for a really work well done. And also my camera person, Dizon, the pro, for setting the camera the way you are seeing me. And so the way you're seeing me is the way the camera is. And so I cannot forget to appreciate him. And allow me to appreciate also each and every person who is always busy, giving me tips and advising me here and there to see that we have the best of the show, the Kokoliriko Show. And thanks to the management of Western Television for providing the platform. And you have to know that Western Television is the only digital television that we have in Western region. Is a cable digital television. So you can catch us live on your StarTime channel 477, and also you can get us on the StarTime app on your smartphone. For those who have downloaded, thank you very much. You can as well download StarTime app. And those who are following us live from the YouTube of Western Television and also other platforms that we have for the television, allow me to appreciate you. For those who want to follow me privately, get to my Facebook page and just like the page, and you will be able to get me right there. Denis Oringi, and also on Twitter at Denis Francis Oringi Francis 11. That is Denis Oringi right there for you. And we continue with the conversation, and we'll be able to give you each and every information that you need to know. Have the best of your time. God bless you. Good morning.
West Nile